I love when men try to come at me and be like, are you trans, as an insult. First of all, not an insult. Not the insult you think it is, babe. You're just trying to decide if you're gonna be transphobic or just plain sexist. You're trying to gauge your level of violence against me, so fuck you. I love my trans kings and queens, and I will never give a shit and think it's an insult when people ask me that. But I have gotten so used to that comment over the years since I was a child. When I was a child, I went on Miranda Cosgrove's Instagram and I commented "Croc Queen" because she wore Crocs on a runway one time and I loved it. I thought that is so camp. Apparently she doesn't like that. So a anonymous account that literally only followed one person, and that was Miranda Cosgrove, for months was making fake accounts to comment and be like, trans, that's a man. I was like 12 or 13. Part of me thinks it was Miranda Cosgrove. We won't get into that because it's stupid and wrong. Like, it's not true. But at 13, I was like, it's Miranda Cosgrove. She didn't like that I called her Croc Queen.
What kind of nuts are those? People are getting fired for engaging in pro-Palestinian advocacy and criticizing Israel. In America, your boss can fire you for taking a stance on a humanitarian crisis that opposes their own, and that's insane and needs to be fixed. At-will employment is a 150-year-old doctrine that was birthed out of slavery and was used to exercise control over formerly enslaved people. So if you vote against your boss's interests or publicly speak up against unsafe working conditions, your boss could just fire you at will, and they don't have to provide a reason, and they will face no repercussions. It is a method of control and is technically in line with freedom of speech. The First Amendment protects you from being thrown in jail for your speech, but not losing your job. And before any of you right-wing weirdos jump into my comments, getting fired for hate speech is legitimate, and before any of you pro-Israeli weirdos jump into my comments, anti-Zionism and condemning the violent actions of a settler colonial state is not anti-Semitism. For a country that prides itself on freedom so much, it's pretty weird that we should be afraid to speak our minds. Abolish at-will employment. I want to eat that.
The answer for her problems, but I'm not him, I don't mind it though. You don't like me how you think you.
Who's gonna tell him? Sir, women do not want to date or marry you because your job is dangerous. They are not afraid to be married to someone with a dangerous job. They are afraid to be married to you. Men who work in law enforcement or who are ex-military have the highest rates of domestic violence than any other profession. And not only with the fact that you are stronger, that you have a weapon, and that you have the entire sheriff's department of whatever town you live in on your side. So whatever you do to her, you could get away with. That's why it's difficult for you to find a girlfriend or a wife. Because women who have been married to law enforcement officers are starting to share their stories to other women. And the rates of abuse are off the chart for men with those jobs. They're afraid that you are going to be an abuser. There's a very high chance that you might be. That's why you're struggling to find a wife. What I would suggest is that when you go on break at the sheriff's department, maybe look at the DV complaint records for some of your fellow officers. You might find some interesting information. Like domestic violence calls made to their houses, yet charges were never filed. Or charges were filed, but they were rescinded. Or divorces with their wives citing abuse. This information exists. The guy who could be your partner on the job, the guy who's sitting in the squad car next to you, could be an abuser. Look around. Your profession is crawling with abusive men. So my first piece of advice is don't be abusive. And my second piece of advice is you got to find some way to show you're not abusive. Because I bet dollars to donuts, that's why you're struggling. It's the perception of men in your profession, and that perception is based on facts. Hope this helps.
Hello, what's your name? Emily? Okay, that's so cool. What are your pronouns? She, her? Got it. I just don't like to misgender people, so I always ask. Is my name Arson? No, my name's Lexi, and I use she, they, bug pronouns. Why are you looking at me like that? Yeah, I use bug as a pronoun. I don't really see the issue with it. Do I like anime? No, not really. I just never got into it. Do I listen to Penelope Scott? I mean, she does have some good songs, I will give you that. But no, my favourite singer is actually Halsey. Who's your favourite singer? Billie Eilish. Oh, I love her too. Yeah, I might dress like it's 2020, but I don't exactly fit all the stereotypes. I just dress this way because I feel comfortable, and that's how I like expressing myself.
And when the smoke clears... Wait, what's this?
That's my chimichanga stand.
No, Cookie. We won't be needing that.
Trust me, Fiona, y'all are gonna be really hungry after this ambush, okay?
Incredible news for trans and queer students in Woodland Unified School District in California. A group of parents there have collected enough signatures to recall an anti-trans school board member from the board. The board member in question is Emily McDonald, who made a series of disparaging remarks against trans people during a Pride Month resolution in June.
For a long period of American history, lesbian, gay, and bisexual Americans have been grouped together with transgender Americans. And while I share with everyone here enormous respect for the achievements and contributions of Americans who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, this coalition forces acceptance of every aspect of transgenderism in order to be considered an ally of the others, and that is wrong. I believe that we will soon follow the lead of our European brothers and sisters in recognizing that in our efforts to normalize transgender identification, we have had unintended consequences, and a reassessment is required. We must act with great caution in order to protect the increasing numbers of children who are experiencing transgender procedures as a result of social contagion, without sacrificing the tiny number of individuals who would identify as transgender, even without social contagion.
In response to that, a number of people quickly rebuked her. In a school board meeting 2 weeks later, a parent, Laura Brubaker, who has a child in the school district, demanded McDonald's resignation and stated that if McDonald would not resign, she would be recalled. Watch her speech.
Hi, I want to start by thanking trustees Villagrana, Fowler, Mott, Garcia, Rodriguez, and Batista Zavala for speaking in support and affirming the validity of trans people and all LGBTQAI+ people in the previous meeting. I was, however, deeply upset by the misleading and ignorant comments made by Trustee McDonald, who seems to have fallen victim to the social contagion of this anti-trans bigotry that is spreading to school boards and state houses across this country. The claim that the increase in transgender identification is the result of a social contagion lacks any credible evidence. The experiences of transgender people are real and valid. Suggesting that the acceptance of transgender individuals negatively affects our children perpetuates a harmful narrative that contributes to the rising harassment and violence against trans people. According to the Department of Homeland Security, 20% of all hate crimes in 2021 were motivated by bias linked to sexual orientation and gender. As an elected official, Trustee McDonald abused her platform and the taxpayers' time to give voice to this dangerous rhetoric. I am calling for Trustees McDonald's immediate resignation from this board. As a member of our school board, you are entrusted to serve all of Woodland's students and create an environment that fosters an understanding, self-acceptance, and inclusion. Your remarks betrayed that trust. I can no longer trust you in the best interest of my children and our community's children. I hope, if she was here, that she would be able to grow as a person and come to see how factually, scientifically, and morally wrong your statements are and your views on trans people. but your education and personal growth should not occur at the expense of our community's youth. We cannot allow your prejudice and fear to guide the critical decision-making of our school district. When you campaigned for this seat, you put out minimal information about your views on any substantive issues. Believe me, I looked. But now you have disclosed these controversial and dangerous views, and it seems only right that the voters of Trustee Area 2 deserve the chance to decide whether they want you to continue to represent them. Your recent statements have rendered you unfit to influence policies and education for our children. It's impossible to live up to the WJUSD vision of excellence for all when you refuse to recognize the validity of some. If you do not resign by the end of the next school board meeting, I am prepared to move forward with initiating a recall. Filing a notice of intention requires at least 30 signatures. I have already collected 20 as of this evening with a little over 24 hours of effort. We are serious about this, and we are not going to back down. Resign now and save our district the time and expense of a recall. The constituents of Trustee Area 2 deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you.
We now know that they have successfully gotten enough signatures, 1,300 to be exact. That's 500 more than McDonald actually won in terms of votes. If this works, this is groundbreaking. This is a way for some school districts, at least in the state of California, where recalls can happen, to fight back. And it's about time that we start getting parents groups to advocate against the Moms for Liberty organizations that are running around from school district to school district passing anti-trans policies. So anyway, congratulations to Woodland Unified School District trans students, and hopefully this ends up working out. This is already much more successful than anything else I've seen.
Spooky, scary pronouns are coming for your kids. Check your closets and your beds for gender-neutral thems. Spooky, scary rainbows are in your favorite stores. Keep your kids close when you shop, or they'll turn into boys and girls of every age are getting brainwashed by liberal ways. School teachers will turn them gay if you take them to pre-K. This is reality, don't believe the news. This is reality, space lasers from spooky, scary drag shows are coming to your state. If you see them, avert your eyes if you want to stay straight. Spooky, scary M&Ms are making people woke. When you shop by store-bought brands, so Mars Inc. will go broke. Yeah, scientists are lying to you. Democrats are denying the truth. Evolution in textbooks. What's next? Look, Satanists sending little kids texts. Spooky, scary socialists are taking all your cash. Soon your neighbors will be members of the middle class. Spooky, scary, sexy books are slutifying your wife. If she reads Sarah J. Maas, she'll start to fantasize. Critical race theory frightens me, even though I don't know what those words mean. I just know that Fox News says it's a bad thing. I don't know how to do my own thinking. Spooky, scary women's rights are destroying families. They can't have control of their bodies or they'll get uppity. Spooky, scary transgenders are invading your bathrooms. Trans men are inside your stalls listening to you poop. I don't know why people say bad things about the police. They've never done anything bad to me. Spooky, scary black people are in your TV shows. Soon your favorite characters will have a new skin tone. Spooky, scary immigrants are coming in canoes. They marry your daughters and cook delicious food.
Autistic relationships get straight to the point, and I love it. I don't do acquaintances, alright? If I've chosen you, you are stuck with me forever. Because I decide within the first 5 seconds if I even want to talk to you. And then after that comes the interview portion of the process. Are you religious? Do you want kids? Tell me your childhood trauma. Because if we can't get at that level together, then I don't want to hang out with you. Because it's that all or nothing thinking. We're either bonded forever or I never want to see you again. But that can be very off-putting for allistic people, and I understand why. I think it's because making friends and relationships is already such an emotionally draining process, and I don't want to have to do it if I'm never going to see that person again, or if it's not going to develop into something bigger. Small talk is not fulfilling for me. I have no use for that. Surface-level friends or acquaintances are people I have to mask for. I just want to skip past all that. I just want to be myself. But to make sure that you're a safe person to do that around, it's a whole thing. I feel like someone getting a little too into a video game. This might just be Mario Kart, but I'm only here to play Rainbow Road. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to mess around.
Every time someone tells me autism isn't a disability, it's a superpower. I just imagine a bunch of superheroes getting together being like, I can contribute to the team with my super strength. Well, I can contribute because I have invisibility. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm autistic and I miss social cues. Also, when I tried to live completely on my own, I had to go to the hospital multiple times and almost died. But I can tell you a lot of cool facts about insects because I've been learning about them since I was 3. Like, oh, this is actually cool. So this is the Atlas moth, which is the largest moth in the world, at least by mass. The white witch moth has a longer wingspan, but their wings are thinner. But it can mimic a snake. Not only just the look, because the tips mimic the look of a snake, they also mimic the movement. So when predators come, they'll drop to the ground and lift up the tips of the wings and start waving them around like a snake, which is pretty cool. Although the shape is a little abstract for me, it's apparently quite effective for predators. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I did not actually mean to info dump, but great superpower. That was sarcasm. It is not a great superpower. It is a disability.
Breaking news! A TikTok filter featuring a watermelon has taken social media by storm, rapidly becoming the platform's fastest growing filter. The filter involves users collecting watermelon seeds, and its popularity is attributed to its charitable cause. The filter's creator has pledged that all proceeds generated by its use will go toward aiding the people of Gaza amid the ongoing conflict in the region. Despite its recent introduction, the filter has garnered over 500,000 videos on TikTok within days, surpassing its initial goal of 200,000 uses. Given its unprecedented growth, projections indicate that the filter could amass millions of uses in the coming days. Users looking to contribute to the cause and support the people of Gaza can participate by completing the filter. While specifics may vary, it is suggested that users engage with the filter for at least 10 seconds. Joining this viral trend offers a unique opportunity for individuals to make a positive impact and raise awareness for the ongoing challenges faced by the people in Gaza.